Welcome back to the Coaching with Impact podcast, the go-to podcast for coaches ready to elevate their online presence and build a lasting impact. I am your host, Fifa Tran, and I am the owner of Be Modern Creative Studio, helping diverse coaches shine with confidence through an elevated online presence using web design and holistic brand strategy. So I am so excited today. I'm thrilled to be joined by a success coach, Julie Greenham, and she is on a mission to really help entrepreneurial moms balance their big business dreams with a fulfilling personal life without the guilt. So I am excited to have you here and really talk about a lot of interesting topics around um, owning your personal power, like people pleasing and whatnot. But anyway, before we begin and diving into all of these questions that I have lined up for you, please tell us a little bit more about what you do and how you got started.
Yes. Hi, Fifa. Thanks for having me. So I think a lot of people who start their own businesses, especially coaches, is people who've gone through that journey. So what you taught yourself or what life has taught you, you're teaching other people. And so this is exactly what I do is I coach and mentor other moms and all women, but mostly entrepreneurial moms because I've also faced that weight of wanting more and the desires sort of bubble up and you want more out of life. You want more out of your business. You have dreams. And also you're trying to attain a level of perfectionism that's been placed on you by societal beliefs and such. Societal expectations to be the good mom, to be the perfect mom. And so sometimes you can get confused between the two and you think that one has to come at the expense of the other. And usually you sacrifice your own self in the midst of everything, trying to have success in your personal life and trying to have success as a mom and also as a partner too. So yeah, so that's what I help women to do, to remember how powerful they really are and that their desires really matter and they can have success in all the areas of their life.
I love that about you helping moms, and especially like you are a mom yourself as well, right? Like you've been on
Yes.
this journey, you have helped others. Like what was the really that pivotal moment that made you say like this is what I want to help moms with or want to help other people with?
Mm. I think it's when I'll try to distill this down to a succinct answer because this is years of building up to living a life that wasn't me, being with a partner that wasn't myself. And I actualized when I was in my 40s. And I just looked at my life one day and I thought, I can't believe that this is me. This is not what I wanted. This is not, I mean, of course, I have gorgeous children who I adore, but the life that I was leading was not me. The partner that I had was never intended to. We attract certain people because of who we are in that moment. And then anybody knows listening that have children is like the days sometimes are so long, can be so long, but also the years go by so fast. And you just wake up one day when you're not in survival mode. And I was looking all around me and I felt like it's funny. I have everything, but yet I have nothing. And so I thought, what is it that I desire? I had never asked myself that. I was very codependent. I was doing things for partners. I was doing things for my children. And I never stopped to ask myself, who am I and what do I want? But I felt that urge of wanting more. And so I started to explore that more. I started to be, being to the field of personal growth more. And then that all transpires into wanting to help other people who were feeling the same.
Wow, that's incredible. And that's how it all
Yeah.
begins, right? Like, and I see this a lot amongst moms specifically, where it's like they put, as soon as you become a mom, they put their children before them, right? And that this is somebody that you're taking care of now. And a lot of the times, like I see this also with my own mom, where she just puts her dreams aside or she really just puts everything beside and focuses on just being able to be there for me, my brother. So I definitely feel like there is so much need for your work because it's just something that a lot of moms actually deal with. So, yeah, I appreciate
Mhm.
you for sharing that story and for being vulnerable about it because not many people can really speak to this, and it's so cool that you're helping others with it as well and reaching out to others to be able to fulfill what their needs are. So,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
such
know,
a
like,
it's something quiet. Yeah, it's
yeah,
something quiet that happens inside of and even people who are not mothers too, right? Sometimes you don't share
yeah,
those things with other people. So, and unfortunately sometimes you need to go through anxiety or depression or you need to come to your edge in order to wake up.
yeah, no, absolutely. And I know like you have so much experience now with this, and I'm sure that you've come up with or you've encountered many challenges that a lot of these women deal with. Um, where do you see there's like some common beliefs or challenges that you see, especially amongst like coaches, if you've coached others, like, what are some of these things that have come up for you when it comes to balancing their business and personal lives?
Mm. I think it's to refer back to a little bit what I said at the surface level earlier, but thinking that you can have success in both areas. I think people really focus on building a business that's all about the hustle and putting all of their energy in it without figuring out who they really are. What do they actually want? What does success represent for them? Because it's different for everyone. Sometimes it's financial. Sometimes it's you able to, like for me, it's all about freedom. I'm multi passionate. I also fly for an airline. I'm in a leadership position. For me, success is freedom. Am I able to say yes to the things that I want 24 hours a day, to the things I truly want? What are my priorities? How do I want to lead myself with, in this business? How do I want to lead myself on social media? I don't like to be on social media all the time versus somebody who's trying to build a business because they should, because these gurus are trying to, tell you that this is the way to do it. You have to post every day. You have to email your list. You need the funnels. You need the this. It's like you can build things the way that you want to. If anything, your energy and your essence builds a much more powerful business.
Mm.
That's not drained. You're not drained. You're not resentful. You're not angry.
Oh yeah. That's a huge point you brought up there, especially about listening to all of these gurus. There are so many gurus out there that tell you what the right way is. But you have to always
Right.
remember like how much energy do you really have for this? What feels right to you? And I love that you emphasize on this because that is really how you balance yourself, right? And this is what you help people with is really just being able to identify those beliefs, right? And identify those things that are holding them back from achieving that balance. So I love that you
Exactly.
mentioned that. And there's so many also there's so many like definitions of like what a great coach is or like what good coaches are. Like in your experience and what you believe, what is your definition of a great coach?
I started off being definitely not a great coach and I found that now that I look back in hindsight, I am so grateful that I was not a great coach, that I was really open to learning new things. And I think we all expect, a lot of us put a lot of pressure to start and be perfect at the
Mm,
thing that we're doing. And it only comes with experience. You need to go through some challenges um, and I think a great coach is somebody who's constantly being innovative, who's constantly focusing on themselves and their own growth, because then you plateau and you will only plateau your clients too. I think it's someone who is very focused on others as well, but not in a codependent way. I think there's lots of coaches out there that try to save their clients. I was one of them. And if anything, I came from a place of being wanting to be validated myself. So it was very egocentric. It's like, I want to come with me. I'm going to take you. I'm going to save you. And I'm going to bring you to where you want to go, instead of seeing their own power. Everybody, I think a great coach speaks to the potential of the person that they're coaching, and not who they are in their current identity, which is perfect for the moment. But, I think we both are very much, we love coaches, we hire coaches. And I think if the coach is able to see my potential when I fall back into victim mode, or when I fall back and I forget my own power, I like when they speak to me to in the direction of where I want to go, not really where I am in the current moment. They're not going in with me in my stories, right? And so, but you just need to be validated sometimes as the client in the moment. But yeah, I think that's what defines a great coach. A great coach it has the uncomfortable conversations. They don't say what you want to hear necessarily, because that kills your dreams.
Yeah, that's a
Mm-hmm.
really great point. And I have seen, I mean, like, I love it when I work with specific coaches who tell me what I need to do in terms of like what I need to focus on, but not like being not in a nice way. Like, I know they know how to set their boundaries. Like, I love coaches who know how
Right.
to set those, because it's not very easy to, like, it's easy to become your friend when it's your clients, and you're really invested in their growth and everything. But there is a way to put
Mm-hmm.
boundaries in place where you're still putting that fine
Mm-hmm.
line between, I'm your coach and I want you to succeed and I see a lot of potential in you, but this is what you have to do, and this is what I believe you have to do. But it's still up to you to decide whether or not you're going to take action on it. But there are also some coaches that they want to be your friend, and they want to ensure that they're by your side and support you, and it's really tricky to have that boundary in place. Like, I understand it because I have been through that myself, where at one point I was a coach and I was coaching a client, and I felt like I had to be their friend at the same time. So it was hard for me to place
Yes.
those boundaries, to really say, like, oh, like, I don't believe that this should be done this way, or like, it's hard. Like, do you have any tips when it comes to like placing boundaries?
Yes, if I can touch on the people pleasing part, I think it's I was definitely a nice coach before. I was definitely a people pleasing coach, and I think it comes from, I think you have a big heart. I think people pleasers have a really big heart. And then yes, they lack the boundaries. And again, they're more in for the sometimes the validation, that more about themselves and less about the clients, but you want them to succeed,
Yeah.
right? It's just you're afraid to you're maybe more acquiescing than telling the truth. And I think you can tell the truth with also being very, very firm as well, and be very, very caring too, and being very kind. um I think boundaries is knowing what your non negotiables are. Like, we all have energetic boundaries, we all have physical boundaries, like if you consider your time as well. I've shared this so many times with my clients, but I have bent over backwards before. I have seen clients at 6 in the morning,
Wow.
because my my roster was full. Like, I wanted to do everything to create to create like a beautiful experience. I couldn't say no to people. I was responding to them 24 hours a day. And I also, like I mentioned earlier, I fly as well. So I'd be responding at these ridiculous time, and people were like, are you up at 3 a.m.? And I was like, no, it's 2 p.m. for me where I am. But like, I wouldn't even enjoy where I was. I was constantly just, responding. And I think that comes from the savior, the codependent coach, is like, you are taking up responsibility so much. And so those boundaries come in handy. So I think knowing your non-negotiables and being really compassionate towards yourself, knowing that you are responsible to show up and do some great coaching, but you are not responsible for the results of your clients. You are doing, it's a two-sided street. Like, you're showing up and they're showing up too. You're both showing up in your strong powers. And I think before is like I would want to manipulate the outcomes that they would have, manipulate the results that they would have, you know, if you do it this way. Or and now the way I show up is like I'm going to share with you my knowledge and everything that I know and my wisdom and my experience. But you also like there's also something to be said about being a great client is like don't take my words for anything that I say. Like contemplate every single thing I say, dissect everything that I say and see if it feels good to you. So when I'm saying like build a business that is aligned with you, that falls under that as well. To be
Mm.
your own judge of things as well.
I love that you
Yeah.
mentioned about being a great client as well. It goes both ways, right? Like, I definitely do feel like, especially when I was coaching my client, where I I felt like I was so invested in what I could help them achieve and whether or not they were going to achieve it that like me
Yes.
too, I was bending over backwards providing all of these different resources and even keeping them accountable to like creating a routine for themselves. Like I was teaching about branding and building that brand foundation and showing up, but I was also going above and beyond and helping to provide like insights into providing the morning routine that could help them like really start their day. Like this is like stuff that I wasn't even supposed to really be doing, but I felt like I really wanted to help
Yes.
them so much that I was going above and beyond, and I was also providing, like, I would schedule a call for an hour, but then we would talk for, like, 3 hours just trying to go over some
Yes.
things. So that's, like, a
Yes.
huge, huge thing that I'm sure a lot of people in the audience deal with as well. Like, it's like, how do you put an end to a call that was supposed to be set for 1 hour, but went on for 3 hours, and really setting those boundaries in place. So, yeah, that's really a big one.
Exactly. For
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. And that totally resonates. I was in that same place. I did that so many times, or just even you know, what people call discovery calls. It's like it's supposed to be 25 minutes. I would spend an
Yeah.
hour and a half with I would full on coach them. Then they'd be, okay, well, I'm great. Well, that's great. For anyone listening who would like to strengthen their boundary, there's actually a book, a really good book that I'm reading right now. I'm almost finished, and I think it's upstairs actually beside my bedside table. It's brand new. It's called Too Much by Terry Cole, and it's all about being a high functioning codependent person. So anything in there you just apply as a coach. But like, you know, the examples in there, that's exactly what I've experienced before. Like even in my personal life, when I started dating the parent of my kids, is like we would go to IKEA and we had this big truck. And I remember these people that were from the city beside us, they had rented like a very small car and they had these big boxes. I didn't even ask them where they live. I just saw them struggling and I was like, I will take over the responsibility of making everything better for you. And I was like, you know what? We will bring your stuff. I didn't even ask them where they live. We drove out 45 minutes from the IKEA at North York to bring them their stuff. And they were like, you're very weird, you know, but I came from a small town. So, but like taking other people, you know, situation on when you don't have to. I didn't even ask him. Like I was totally pushing, you know, the boundaries with it. I didn't even ask if my co-parent wanted to go. Like I just said, this is what we're doing. We're going to fix this thing because I can.
Wow. Yeah, you were very, very generous. And
Yes.
that's the thing, right? When you don't put these boundaries in place, like some clients really do take advantage of it. But they don't know sometimes until you tell them. So that's why like
Exactly.
it's so important to work on setting those boundaries, these expectations in place right at the very beginning and really just
Yes.
telling them straight up. Like, I mean, I've learned a lot from my past experiences, and now I'm just like, okay, like I have to be firm. And I mean,
Hmm.
people pleasing is still something that, it's something that goes back to your childhood, right? It's something you have to heal.
Yes.
And it's not something that you can just let it be. And then, like, you need that guidance and support to help you dig deeper. So I'm sure that this is something that you are really, really great with. Like, this is something that you've helped a lot of clients with and worked through, right? So,
It is, and I'll say that now, whenever I show up, I would say that now I attract very different people because I show up very different too.
mm,
I've managed to be in my own personal power and be grounded and know what I bring and know my worthiness and know my greatness. It doesn't mean that I have moments of lack of confidence that shows up randomly. It can be intense, it can be on a smaller scale. That still shows up. It depends with who as well. But I know exactly what I bring, and therefore I attract very different clients who come with their own power as well, who don't need me all the time, who are not voxering me every single second. Um, so yeah, you definitely attract different people as well when you grow and change.
oh yeah, oh absolutely. Especially with the point with evolving and also appearing as perfect all the time. That's
Yes.
also a big one where it's like, okay, you are a coach and you want to be able to help others, so you have to set the example. But it also, like you mentioned, it doesn't mean that you're not also trying to deal with it yourself, and you've gone through the steps and you know how to overcome it and or like what the signs are and you're helping others with that. But it's something that there really is, it's something that does come up for people where it's like, oh, I'm hiring this coach to help me fix this. So it doesn't make
Yes.
sense if that person has those issues too, right? Like what can be said about that?
Oh, that's so true. That's so true. And I think that's so important to be honest as well. I mean, no coach is perfect. I mean, if you're always constantly working on your own personal growth, there's things that you're learning too and you're passing it on. That's always the way I like to see it. I'm a very open book. I share challenges in my personal life with clients because I think that it makes it more real and how I deal with things like that because no life is perfect. And so if you can give them a little peek into your life, and know that you can still help people as you're going through something yourself as well. Like we all have different experiences and knowledge and wisdom that can be transferable skills in that particular situation too.
Hmm. Yeah, and I know there's also like there's um some people are often thinking like, okay, how much should I share? Like, is how much is too much to share about what you're going through? Do you have anything to say about that?
That's a good question. I I usually, because I feel like you're in this very safe and non-judgmental container
Mhm.
with the client, I share everything that I feel comfortable sharing. Although if I'm going through something that's really hard and I'm having really high emotions about it, and it's just between me and my therapist, I don't feel good sharing it at that time. I want to share it after and share my learned lessons and all that. I'll do that. But most of the time, I usually share what I'm going through because a lot of the things that I teach is to stretch your own capacity to be able to hold fulfilling and a happy life, also with like things that come that you're not prepared for.
Mm,
So even now I'll share with everyone, yes, I'm a mom, but my this year my son who's going to be 14 decided to live with his father, and how before that would have destroyed me. I would have not been able to show up for clients, but I trust. So the thing that I teach is like trusting in whatever circumstance that you're going through, whatever challenge, and how I'm dealing with that and how I'm still able to show up and be in my own power and lead others still powerfully while all these things are happening in the background too. And so for me, it really feels good. For me, it's for lack of a better way of saying it, to my advantage to share it, but I also feel very comfortable in sharing the things that happened to me because I perceive it as, well, someone's going to see that all this is happening and I'm still able to show up or the way that I'm dealing with it. Hmm.
mhm. Oh, that's such a great answer. I love everything that you shared there. Like it really is. There's always so much that you can share, but yeah, it really just being able to share what feels right to you and being vulnerable and courageous about it. It also shows people like in what ways that you are responding to a situation, and also how you are as a coach, right? Like the way
Yes,
you navigate these challenges, that's what people look in you when they want to decide to hire you as well. Like, how does she
exactly.
show up, even dealing with all of this, right? So,
Yes, I'm not. I mean, there's different people out there. Maybe you're attracted to a coach who has everything. No one has everything perfect going on, but maybe you're attracted to that. Somebody who just talks about business and doesn't let you in on the backside of things or onto their life. But I'm not attracted to that. So
yeah.
I seek for people who are true and real in all of their facets. Hmm.
Yeah. That's why I also like sharing like your values through your content is also so
Yes,
important too, right? And I know like like I read your emails all the time, and it's always so fascinating to be a part of that world where you are sharing your stories, but you're sharing some of the vulnerabilities, like you're sharing stories that I could resonate with at the time, and just being able to put that out there and like have people read it, like that's what draws me into you as a person. So it's great
thanks,
that,
Fifa.
yeah, it's just amazing for you to be sharing your story this way. And that's why I always encourage everybody, like storytelling is so important. Like you have to include it as part of your messaging and everything. But when it comes
Yes.
to finding the right coach for you, it's really like, okay, does this person resonate with me? Like, is this the energy that I want to be a part of or have somebody coaching me in this way? So,
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm all about too going to a little bit on the topic of email marketing. The thing that I tell people the most is same as you is like just humanize your communication. Just humanize your email because people are just so used to like buy this, buy that. This is almost over. This is the launch for this and the promo is like, why? Who are you? What are you building? Why are you building it? I want to know everything. I share my dating life in my in my email community.
but I love
So- Thank you. I'm glad it resonates.
No,
Now I'm blushing.
honestly, it's really, I love it. I love reading about it. And especially, it's even more important nowadays with AI and like
Yes,
ChatGPT. Like, you always, at the end of the day, you still need the human touch. You still need to humanize it in your own way, put it in your own words. So, whatever
exactly.
ChatGPT is spitting out to help you with whatever ideas that you have, like, you still need to edit it at the end of the day.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
will be truthful and say that pretty much all my emails are AI enhanced for sure. But my own heart is in there first and then it sort of like is the sprinkle on the AI is the sprinkle on top. Because sometimes I don't quite say the things that I want to say. It sounds a bit clunky. And so it just makes it smooth. Like it's like a cake. Like you make the icing. That's how I see AI.
Yes, I agree 100%. I do the same. Like I'm usually just like brainstorming, brain dumping everything on a sheet or a document, and then like, but then I totally understand. Like it sounds clunky, it sounds weird, like there's no flow to it. So I
Yes.
also use AI for just like making it sound better. That's one thing that I always ask it to do. I write whatever I wrote and then I put it in AI and I'm like, make this sound better and make it flow.
Yes, it does. It does exactly that. It's amazing.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, this is a great topic. Like I know that you're so good in terms of like coaching people, but also you're great in terms of helping people with AI, email marketing and everything. So I love to have you here, like just having this conversation, because this is a topic that is not really discussed a lot, especially the idea of like being a good and a nice coach. So I'm glad we touched on that topic. And um, I'd love to kind of just end the conversation with like, what is your one biggest tip that you would like to share with the audience when it comes to everything that we talked about? Like, what's your biggest takeaway? If it was anything that we talked about today, like what is that number one thing that you want people to leave with?
I think I think when you're a great coach, you're really magnetic. You're not forgettable. I feel like this is dipping back into a little bit of being the nice coach, being the people pleasing coach, dips into being forgettable. That you could be a kind coach, you could be a great coach. Kind is what a great coach is what transforms people. And I feel like a nice coach is a dream killer of people. Yeah,
Mm.
it's people's dreams that are being killed because you have the responsibility as a coach to guide people. But for that, you need to be in your own power. You need to find your own worthiness. You need to find your own confidence and your own greatness. And when you show up, the people will show, the clients will show up for you, and you're actually elevating their own potential as well. So, not being afraid of really, truly being who you are, and not being afraid of saying the uncomfortable things, because people, that's why they invest with you, is because you're wanting, you're guiding them to change their own life or their own business or whatever you're helping them to change. And so to just own that, like, you decide that you're owning it. No one's going to tell you. It doesn't come, it comes from experience too, but it's really when you decide.
Oh, I love
That's what
that.
I would say.
That's powerful. Yeah, especially like when you're working with clients and some coaches, especially being a nice coach, you're kind of like letting the client dictate what you do in a way, right?
Right. Yes.
So that's also the biggest thing is like you're still staying in your personal power, being able to help them, but being flexible as well with some things that they may need at the time. I feel like
Mhm.
that's really what's important, and really what my biggest takeaway really is like in this conversation is still having that personal power and control, being a good coach, because that's the definition of it in our eyes anyway, in our beliefs.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's too bad because I find, I have a lot of coaches who I coach, but it's nobody teaches you really how to coach or how to become better as a coach or how to be a great coach. It's just like you have to figure out your way and take detours along the way. But I think any sort of business owner, whether you're a coach or not, is like you deciding that you're going to do this, that you're all in, and that comes from knowing that you're fantastic, that you're great. It all comes from your confidence.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, this is so good. This is such a great topic. Well, I'm really excited to have you here, and also like hearing what other projects that you have. Like I'm sure you have a lot, that's you have so many exciting offers, but what is one thing that you'd love to share with the audience that you'd have?
So a couple times a month, I open up some time on my calendar, and I offer these sessions. They're called Claim It All. And so it's really to see. So I do coach for 90 minutes. It's a 90-minute session. And we figure out, where is it that you want to go? What are the challenges that are on the way? What are the blocks? And then I coach you on that. So that's what I offer.
Exciting. Well, thanks for sharing it with the audience. So, if you haven't heard about Julie or want to connect with her, like definitely reach out to her on like what platforms can people find you on?
I would say I'm mostly active on Instagram, and my handle is I am Julie Greenham.
Awesome. So definitely connect with Julie and reach out to her if you want to have access to her programs. You are a busy one. I know you have like you're a leader as well in an airline industry in the airline industry as well. So like you said, if any of you in the audience is looking for coaching, like definitely check out her programs. She has very limited spots available. But thank you again for having this discussion, for opening up and being vulnerable and sharing your story and just all of your insights and experiences. Like this is going to help so many people in the audience to, especially now with the coaching industry being so saturated, like just being able to figure out who is the right coach for you. All of these topics
Yes.
are what is needed to really figure that out, and also to show up in your power and be a good coach, right?
Yes.
And being able to have that impact on others. So, thank you so much, Julie. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Fifa. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Same here. And as always, if you enjoyed this episode and you found value in it, it would mean the world to us if you could just give us a rating and leave us a review. We also would love to hear your feedback. So if you want to add in any voice notes or whatnot, we have that available and we'd love to hear from you. Until next time.